Roy Willis, President and CEO of the Propane Education and Research Council, on the clash in Washington over alternative fuels and technologies as incentives are set to expire.
This is a very difficult and challenging time for alternative fuels generally. I think there is almost a dichotomy going on in sort of the public mind about the need to develop alternative technologies to reduce our dependence on imported oil. And on the other hand, concern over America's growing national debt and the impact that has on our quality of life. The direct impact of that clash, if you will, is in the area of alternative fuels really has to do with the type incentives that are in place for the development of some alternative fuels, or in the case of propane and natural gas, incentives for incremental cost of the vehicles. Most alternative vehicles cost more. Incentives for building out the infrastructure for refueling alternative vehicles, and incentives for fleets and other end users to actually use the alternative fuel. Many of those are set to expire at the end of this year or next year. And so there's a debate going on in Congress about whether to extend those incentives for all alternative fuels, or in some cases there are others that are advocating that we ought to pick a winner as a nation and only pass incentives that apply to natural gas, knowing that the other incentives are going to expire. I think trying to pick a winner has always proven to be a loser for America. The best approach, in my opinion, having spent literally decades working on energy policy in Washington, D.C., is to have a broad portfolio of alternative fuels, primarily because they all serve different niches, different needs of vehicle owners, whether you're operating a giant fleet of thousands of over-the-road heavy-duty trucks. Natural gas may make sense. If you're a small delivery bakery that has 5 small vans delivering to restaurants in a city, the expense of natural gas or CNG refueling infrastructure may make going to alternative fuels completely uneconomic, but using propane autogas is very economic, especially if there's a level playing field in terms of incentives. So my concern is always when Congress decides it could choose a winner and sort of put all of our eggs in one basket. If something happens and that doesn't pan out, we end up losing a lot of momentum. And I think America has a very, very serious problem with energy security right now. And we ought to have public policy that encourages, to the greatest extent possible, the use of domestically produced energy resources. That includes natural gas, CNG, biodiesel, advanced renewables. All of these fuels have a place in America's energy portfolio, and we need to accelerate the use of those fuels to get rid of our dependence on imported oil.